iPhone 6 iOS 11 public beta release review coming up right now. Let's go. What is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and this is the iPhone 6, and today I have the iOS 11 public beta release, and this is a review here of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and boot this guy up and talk a little bit more about it. So iOS 11 is now available to everybody for the public. On the iPhone 6, it did take about 1.83 gigabytes to download. I actually used the iPhone 6 for the release video, and you can see it does take quite a bit of time to boot up as well. Now, I've been using the iPhone 6 for a few days here, and the battery life has been quite horrendous on iOS 11. So if you're looking for great battery life here on the iOS 11s for the iPhone 6, you're probably not going to get great battery life. So I would recommend only downloading this if you want to experiment with it. Maybe this is a backup phone, and you've seen it took about 35 to 40 seconds to boot up. So not the fastest boot up in the world anymore. But again, this is the iPhone 6 running the Apple A8 CPU with 1 gigabyte of RAM. So yeah, I'm in iOS now, and I'm going to show you this is the public release. Alright guys, so here we are now in iOS 11 for the iPhone 6. If I scroll up on the control center, you can see a little bit laggy there, but definitely this is iOS 11, and you've seen it just kind of went away by itself. So things are acting a little bit wonky right now, but going into settings here, I am going to go into general here for this device, go into about, and you can see that we are running iOS 11 15A 5304. I think that's a J. Yeah, that's a J. So this is the first public release. They're probably going to release a beta 2 probably within the next 2 weeks or so. We're going to have to see what Apple does there. But this did take, like I say, about 1.83 gigabytes of space. Now, some of the new features you're going to get here with your iPhone 6 are the updated control center. So you can see you can now change things around here on iOS 11. You also get the new Do Not Disturb mode. So if we go into settings here, and we go into, let's go back here, Do Not Disturb. You can also have Do Not Disturb while driving. So this is automatically going to recognize the fact that you're driving, and it's not going to let you make calls while you're driving. That's a cool new feature there. Also, the new screenshot here in iOS 11 public beta release. If I go ahead and hold down the home button, and the screenshot, like I say, a little bit buggy, but you can go ahead and share right from this icon. So let me go ahead and hit that. You can draw on it, do all kinds of things. I think we've seen this on other phones before, but you definitely could do whatever you want here on screenshots here for your iPhone 6 on iOS 11. Also, the updated calculator design. Let me go ahead and swipe this away. And you also have the updated weather design, a little bit bigger fonts. And you can see I'm hitting the home button, and we're having some lag here live on camera. This is how, buggy this thing really is right now. So like I say, if this is your daily driver, you can see the reason why I would not recommend you to do that. And I'm going to show you. Hear that home button? Crashing live on camera. So I'm going to go ahead and get this fixed, and I'll be back in a second. All right, y'all, we're back in. So here is the weather, and you can see weather. If I go down, the weather fonts have been updated here as well. Also in iOS 11, you are going to get the new iTunes store, very updated. It looks a little bit more like the Apple Music of last year, and you could see pretty decent there. If we go into the new App Store, let me go into the new App Store. You can see the updated tabs here at the bottom. It's a cleaner UI. It's easier for people to read who don't want to read like little small text. I think it's going to be really good for smaller smartphones, especially those with 4 or 4.7 inch screens like the one here, and Games tab, Apps tab, and Updates tab. And also there's a new feature where you can enable a Siri text. So you have to go into settings here, and we go back, we go to general, go down, and we go into accessibility. So let's go into accessibility. We're going to tap, where's Siri at? So we're going to find Siri here, and we're going to go ahead and hit type to Siri. So now if you hold down the Siri button, you're going to be able to hold down this and text to type. So basically we've seen this in Google Now before, but it'll be here on Siri. So there it is right there. Now also you do have updated Maps design in Apple Maps and Google Maps, where you can go ahead, well, it's just like Google Maps, not in Google Maps. It's in Apple Maps. So what you're going to do is you're going to be able to see airports. You're going to be able to see, mall maps and stuff like that, directories. Like I say, we've seen this in Google Maps, but you're going to get it here in the Apple Maps for the iPhone 6. Also, the updated file system comes here with the public release here. Also was in the beta edition, but for those of you who didn't download the beta edition, it's here on this guy as well. So that's all I'm going to talk about in terms of features. Let's go ahead and run a timer and see how fast this thing performs here on iOS 11 in a little quick speed test and multitasking test. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and run through some of these applications. Some of them are going to be system based. Some of them are going to be just, third-party based. So let's go into calendar, for example, and you can see a little bit of lag there, but we are in the calendar. So let's go into YouTube here. And YouTube did have a bug in the beta editions of iOS, so let's see if it's fixed here. So you can see the search bar is working. If I go to search, you can go ahead and search for the Nick Ackerman channel and check out some of the awesome videos around there. So you have the calculator, and you could see the calculator was just fine. Let's go into the App Store. And we were already in the App Store, so that opened up fine. Let me go and close that out and open it again to show you the speed there. Let's go into the App Store. Here, this is going live right now, so definitely a little slow there. You can see scrolling speeds, not too bad. I mean, it's still usable. Like I say, I wouldn't recommend this for a daily user, but some people are going to be brave and bold enough to use this as a daily driver, and I don't blame you if you really want these new features. Now, going into camera, you can see camera's a little bit slow, and let's go into Safari here, and Safari... Okay, Safari's taking a little bit of time there. Let's go into apple.com, and you can see the bar at the top in Safari is also updated. You can see right there. So definitely still pretty smooth experience once browsing in iOS 11. And not that it wasn't expected. We always expect Safari to be pretty smooth, but you can just see the amount of lag on the animations going back there. Even on the control center, you see just doesn't respond every time. But this is a beta, so it's expected. It's not like we didn't know this. It's pretty obvious that this is going to happen here. But you can see going into multitasking, not bad on the scroll speeds, but from time to time there's a little glitch and hang. So like right there, if you do that a little bit, it does glitch. So let's go into find my iPhone, coming home here. Let's go into Safari, coming home here. Let's close out these now. Let's just close them out, and you could see not bad performance here on the multitasking. So overall, the performance here is okay. It's not amazing. You've seen it right here live. This is the public release. Like I say, battery life is not the best, but you're also going to notice you have a new control center here, or notification center here. You can see it kind of looks just like the lock screen, which is, I mean, that's to each their own, but you do retain your widgets over here to the right, and you can go to the camera like so. So let me just log in there, and you can see how it flies away now in iOS 11. Let's go ahead and run a Geekbench now to see how the scores are here on the public release. All right, guys, so I got Geekbench loaded up here, and you can see Apple AA chipset 1.40 gigahertz. Let me go ahead and hit CPU benchmark. We're going to run this here. I'll be back when the scores are done. And the reason I'm doing this test is because if you're watching this iPhone 6, you're following my iPhone 6 coverage, you can kind of see the Geekbench score in this video versus the upcoming betas, as well as the official release that'll drop later this year. So I'll be back in just a sec. All right, guys, so on the iPhone 6 iOS 11 public beta, the first edition, we got 1566 on the single and 2680 on the multi-core score here. Now, keep these scores in mind for when we go forward and we do more reviews on iOS 11 for the iPhone 6. You can see if it is improving over time. You want to subscribe to the channel to see those updates, but definitely pretty decent. It's not better than 10.3.2 in my personal opinion and uses, but the Geekbench scores are pretty respectable here for iOS 11. Now, iOS 11 brings a lot more features than what I showed you in this video, but I just wanted to show you some of the main ones you do get, like the new control center, the new notifications tray, the file system, the new calculator design, the new weather design, the new app store design. There's quite a bit to be found here in iOS 11. Do not disturb mode here also in iOS 11, where you will not be distracted while driving. So yeah, that's pretty much my review here of the iPhone 6 on iOS 11. Should you download? This is the question what you might be asking, and I can tell you right now, if you're going to download iOS 11 on here, make sure you know what you're doing. What I mean is do a backup on your iPhone. Do not download this without doing a backup. I've heard people saying, my files are getting lost, Nick. It's all your fault, blah, blah, blah. No, I am not responsible for you losing your files. You losing your files is a product of you not doing a backup. So you heard it here. Do a backup, then download the iOS 11. You'll be all good if anything goes wrong. But if you're trying to use this as a daily driver, just know it is buggy. It does crash from time to time, and the battery life is lower. Those are the cons. The pros are that it's a newer looking feel, it looks more modern, it has some cool new features, but I don't think those features are good enough to justify the fact that the performance hit is too much of a performance hit right now. So I wouldn't recommend downloading overall, but if you are going to do it, follow those steps that I just said prior to that. Anyway, if you found this video enjoyable, do me a favor, click the like button for me, subscribe to the channel for more tech videos like this. Nick here helping you to master your technology. This was the iPhone 6 iOS 11 public beta review. I will catch you all in the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace.